Sistas! Season 9, Episode 5 is here, and it's set to shatter everything fans thought they knew. Karen's grief spirals deeper than ever. Sabrina faces betrayals that cut to the bone, and Fatima's secrets threaten to explode in ways no one could predict. Every relationship teeters on the edge of collapse, and what once held them together may now be the very thing that tears them apart. This episode promises heartbreak, confrontation, and moments so raw they will leave you breathless. Fans have been bracing for emotional explosions, but Episode 5 doesn't just deliver, it detonates. From the very first moments of Episode 5, the weight of loss and unresolved pain is palpable. Karen, still haunted by the lingering shadows of past tragedies, isolates herself in ways that ripple through the entire sisterhood. After losing yet another piece of her life, she refuses comfort from anyone, even Aaron, the only remaining link to her shattered family. Her retreat is not quiet or passive. It's a storm contained within a fragile shell, a tension that threatens to unravel everyone around her. Viewers should expect Karen's grief to manifest in subtle but cutting ways. Brief outbursts, cold refusals, and a distance that feels unbearable. She clings to what little remains of her family while simultaneously pushing everyone away, creating a vacuum of emotional isolation that others are forced to navigate. Sabrina, still recovering from Rich's betrayal, finds herself questioning every relationship she once leaned on for stability. Her pain doesn't manifest as silence, but as action, decisive, sometimes harsh, always calculated. In this episode, Sabrina may confront Rich head-on, refusing to let the past dictate her future, and in doing so, she signals a transformation from dependent sister to independent force. Yet even as she attempts to reclaim her power, the fallout of Karen's emotional exile hangs over her, complicating every decision, every interaction. Fatima, hiding her pregnancy and the fears that come with it, becomes a silent anchor, juggling the physical toll of her secret with the emotional demands of her friends. The strain of keeping such a secret, combined with witnessing Karen's refusal to engage, pushes her closer to the edge. Fans can expect moments where Fatima nearly cracks under the pressure, small explosions of frustration, a harsh word, or even a public confrontation that lays bare the injustice and inequality that shaped the events of previous episodes. Meanwhile, the dynamics between Aaron and Zach grow more complicated than ever. Aaron, striving for stability and a vision of the future, clashes with Zach, who is retreating deeper into grief. Their interactions are tense, layered with unspoken accusations and guilt, and fans will watch as the strain of caregiving, emotional vulnerability, and unresolved grief test their bond in ways that may permanently alter their relationship. Every character in this episode is forced to confront the duality of human experience, the pull between personal sorrow and communal responsibility. Where Karen chooses isolation, others are compelled to act, whether through confrontation, revelation, or assertion of boundaries. The result is a chain reaction of conflict, raw emotion, and moments of shocking clarity. The narrative is meticulously layered, alternating between the internal struggles of each sister and the external pressures of a community that refuses to remain static. Expect flashbacks or reflections that deepen the emotional resonance, showing not just the present fractures, but the formative moments that created them. Sabrina's determination to reclaim her life may be met with resistance from Dany, whose own path toward self-improvement is challenged by the chaos around her. Dany's journey in Episode 5 is particularly compelling, as fans anticipate whether she will finally sever toxic attachments, redefine her boundaries, or be pulled back into the web of drama she's been striving to escape. The episode doesn't offer simple resolutions. Every choice made by the characters feels weighty, meaningful, and unpredictable. And in the midst of all this, Karen's silence is deafening. She occupies spaces without truly being present, her grief manifesting in absence as much as in action. The tension of her refusal to connect drives the narrative forward, forcing each character and the audience to confront the uncomfortable reality that grief can divide as much as it can unite. As Episode 5 unfolds, viewers will be drawn into the intricate web of relationships, secrets, and emotions, feeling every betrayal, every heartbreak, and every fleeting moment of hope. By the end of the section, it's clear that this is not just an episode about loss, it's an examination of resilience, the cost of emotional isolation, and the fragile bonds that define the world of Sistas. The stakes are higher than ever, and episode 5 promises to leave fans questioning not only what will happen next, but whether the sisterhood as they know it can survive the storms ahead. As episode 5 progresses, the emotional tension tightens around each sister, amplifying the fractures that have been quietly forming over the past seasons. Karen's self-imposed exile is no longer just a personal struggle. It's a force that changes the rhythm of every interaction. Her refusal to accept comfort or guidance, even from those who love her most, creates a vacuum that tests everyone's patience and loyalty. Aaron, tasked with caring for the living child while mourning the loss of what could have been, faces a delicate balance between empathy and frustration. His attempts to reach Karen are met with cold distance, and fans should expect scenes where even the gentlest gestures are rebuffed, leaving him questioning not only Karen's state of mind, but his own ability to support her. Zach, meanwhile, is caught in his own spiral of grief, pulling away from family and friends while struggling to reconcile his pain with the needs of the surviving child. The tension between Aaron and Zach becomes almost unbearable, a quiet battle of wills underscored by moments of shared heartbreak that neither can fully articulate. Fatima's pregnancy remains the silent yet potent force shaping this episode. As she juggles her secret with the mounting pressures of supporting her friends, the audience is invited into her inner world, a place of fear, determination, and moments of near breaking point. Fans can anticipate emotional spikes where her calm demeanor cracks, where pent-up feelings of anger, worry, and injustice erupt in small but sharp confrontations with Zach, Karen, or even strangers who unknowingly test her patience. Sabrina, determined to reclaim agency in her own life, becomes a linchpin in this tangled web of emotions. Her confrontation with Rich is inevitable, a dramatic confrontation where she refuses to be minimized or dismissed, asserting power over a relationship that has long undermined her confidence. But this episode doesn't isolate her growth. Sabrina's evolution is entangled with Dany's journey. Dany, working tirelessly on her self-improvement, is both inspired and challenged by the chaos around her. Fans will see her reevaluate relationships, potentially severing ties with toxic influences or choosing paths that allow her to grow unencumbered by the past. As Dany steps into this new chapter, episode 5 juxtaposes her development with Karen's regression, emphasizing the contrasting ways grief and trauma can shape human behavior. The emotional stakes are heightened by the narrative's subtle focus on justice, morality, and responsibility. Dr. Cruz, whose dismissive bedside manner triggered backlash in episode 3, remains a looming presence in the background, emblematic of the societal injustices that touch every character's life. Fatima's potential confrontation with him may echo beyond the personal, hinting at activism, accountability, and the ripple effect of speaking truth to power. Each character's arc in this episode is meticulously designed to push boundaries, emotionally, relationally, and morally. Grief manifests not just in sorrow, but in anger, withdrawal, and unexpected actions that force viewers to question what's right, what's necessary, and what is truly sustainable in the face of trauma. Karen's silence serves as a catalyst, compelling each sister to confront both their limitations and strengths, while also driving the narrative forward with tension so thick it feels almost tangible. Viewers will witness intimate and raw exchanges where friendships are tested, loyalty is questioned, and personal limits are pushed to breaking points. The episode's suspense is not driven by external events, but by the internal landscapes of the characters, their fears, regrets, and fragile hopes. Every decision carries weight. Every refusal and acceptance carries consequences, and fans are left on edge, unsure whether any of these relationships can survive the growing storm. Episode 5 refuses to offer relief. Instead, it plunges the audience deeper into the intertwined journeys of loss, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of personal truth. By the end of this section, it becomes clear that this episode is a crucible for the Sistas, testing their bonds, forcing confrontation, and revealing that even in isolation, no one escapes the emotional currents that shape their world. Episode 5 pushes the boundaries of emotional tension to a nearly unbearable level, as every character is forced to confront the consequences of past choices while navigating the storm of the present. Karen's isolation has become more than just a coping mechanism, it's a test of everyone's endurance and patience. Her silence is deafening, her avoidance of comfort and connection slicing through the sisterhood like a knife. Fans can expect moments where even subtle interactions with Aaron, Zach, or Fatima carry immense weight as the unspoken grief and mounting frustration bubble just beneath the surface. Aaron, already strained from the responsibility of caring for the surviving child, faces a new challenge, bridging the emotional gap Karen has created while managing his own heartbreak. The tension between him and Zach escalates, with small disagreements threatening to erupt into full-blown confrontations. Zach's retreat into grief mirrors Karen's own isolation, creating a landscape of sorrow that's both intimate and suffocating. Meanwhile, Fatima continues to carry her secret pregnancy like a ticking time bomb. Each day, her physical and emotional endurance is tested as she balances the needs of her friends with her own fears and doubts. Fans will see her moments of vulnerability, the brief cracks in her composure where frustration and fear spill over into arguments or confrontations. These moments serve as reminders of the heavy burdens each character carries and how those burdens collide in unpredictable ways. Sabrina's arc in Episode 5 is one of empowerment amidst chaos. Her confrontation with Rich is inevitable, a high-stakes showdown that demands both courage and precision. But this episode layers complexity over the act of confrontation. Sabrina is not only fighting for her own dignity, but also navigating the emotional fallout from Karen's absence and the instability that threatens to engulf their circle. Dany, still on her path of self-improvement, faces her own tests as the surrounding drama challenges her growth. Will she maintain her hard-earned boundaries, or will the emotional pull of others' crises draw her back into old patterns? Fans should anticipate moments where Dany's choices could have ripple effects on the group, either stabilizing fragile bonds or unintentionally exacerbating tensions. In the midst of all this, the episode cleverly weaves in the undercurrent of justice and accountability. Dr. Cruz remains a looming figure, symbolizing systemic failures and personal betrayals that intersect with the sisters' lives. Fatima's potential confrontation with him is not just personal, it carries the weight of broader societal implications, highlighting the stakes of speaking out against injustice. Every subplot in Episode 5 is designed to intertwine, creating a narrative web that is as emotionally intricate as it is suspenseful. The writers expertly manipulate timing, pacing, and perspective, allowing the audience to experience the mounting tension from multiple angles. Grief, anger, and hope coexist in a delicate balance, each moment charged with the potential for heartbreak or revelation. Fans can expect flashbacks, introspective moments, and emotional reckonings that illuminate the depth of each character's internal struggle. Karen's refusal to engage forces the others to examine not only their relationships with her, but also with themselves. The episode highlights the duality of connection and isolation, showing how grief can simultaneously divide and bind. By juxtaposing Karen's withdrawal with Sabrina's assertive confrontation, Fatima's silent endurance, Aaron's protective instincts, and Zach's retreat into mourning, Episode 5 creates a tense emotional mosaic that keeps viewers on edge. The suspense is psychological and relational rather than physical, but it is no less gripping. Every glance, every pause, every unspoken word carries significance, making Episode 5 a masterclass in tension and emotional storytelling. By the end of this section, it is evident that no character emerges unchanged. The episode challenges assumptions, tests loyalties, and positions the sisterhood on a precipice, leaving fans desperate to see who will hold firm, who will crack, and what consequences will define the path forward. Episode 5 of Sistas Season 9 continues to escalate the emotional stakes, creating a tense atmosphere that reverberates through every interaction and decision the characters make. Karen's self-imposed isolation becomes increasingly destructive, not only to herself, but to everyone around her. Her silence is a constant pressure, a wall that prevents connection and forces each sister to navigate a web of grief, anger, and frustration without guidance or support. The audience will see how Karen's refusal to engage intensifies the ripple effects of past tragedies, magnifying the tension between her and Aaron. As the caretaker of the surviving child, Aaron is caught in a conflict between empathy and exasperation. His attempts to reach Karen are met with rejection, leaving him to grapple with the emotional weight of both her silence and his own sorrow. This creates intimate yet volatile moments where small misunderstandings can escalate into deep emotional conflicts, challenging the resilience of their bond. Zach, still trapped in his own grief, becomes increasingly distant. His interactions with Aaron are marked by unspoken blame, guilt, and lingering questions about what could have been. Episode 5 shows Zach grappling with the impossibility of moving forward while surrounded by the living reminders of loss, forcing viewers to witness the profound isolation that grief can create. The tension between these two men, paired with Karen's withdrawal, is at the heart of the episode, and it drives much of the suspense. Meanwhile, Fatima's secret pregnancy acts as both a narrative and emotional catalyst. Her hidden condition is more than a personal burden. It shapes every interaction, every decision, and every response from those around her. Fans can expect moments where her composure falters, where the pressure of hiding her truth collides with the emotional needs of her friends. This creates situations rife with potential for confrontation, outbursts, and moments of intense vulnerability. Fatima's journey in this episode is one of quiet strength tested under extreme pressure, balancing her own survival instincts with the responsibility of supporting a sisterhood on the brink of fracture. Sabrina, ever the fighter, continues to assert her independence and reclaim her agency. Her confrontations with Rich are both cathartic and dramatic, serving as a declaration that she will no longer tolerate betrayal or manipulation. Yet her actions are not isolated. They influence Dany's path as well. Dany, striving to break free from toxic cycles, is challenged to navigate the emotional chaos without losing sight of her personal growth. Episode 5 examines how the emotional decisions of one sister inevitably ripple through the others, revealing the interconnectivity of grief, loyalty, and self-preservation. Beyond the immediate relational drama, the episode continues to layer in social commentary and moral stakes, particularly through the presence of Dr. Cruz. His dismissive bedside manner and past injustices against Fatima remain a persistent undercurrent, highlighting the broader societal pressures and discrimination that intersect with personal struggles. Fans should anticipate potential confrontations that move beyond private disputes, hinting at activism, advocacy, and the courage to confront systemic issues. Each character's arc in Episode 5 is meticulously intertwined with the others, creating a tapestry of suspense and emotional intensity that keeps viewers engaged. Karen's isolation forces the sisters to question not only their loyalty to her, but also their understanding of themselves and each other. Emotional flashbacks, moments of reflection, and intense dialogue punctuate the episode, showing how past trauma continues to influence present choices. The suspense in Episode 5 is carefully constructed through relational dynamics, internal conflicts, and the delicate balance between hope and despair. Every choice, every refusal, every confrontation carries weight and consequence. Karen's withdrawal, Sabrina's assertiveness, Fatima's concealed pregnancy, Aaron's struggle to maintain care, and Zach's retreat into grief collectively create a pressure cooker of emotion that feels relentless yet compelling. By the midpoint of the episode, it becomes clear that the sisterhood is at a tipping point. Each character's decision has the potential to either repair or further damage the bonds they share. Viewers are left in a state of heightened anticipation, wondering whether reconciliation is possible, whether secrets will surface, and whether grief will unite or permanently divide them. Episode 5 masterfully balances these tensions, delivering moments of both heartbreak and revelation, as every interaction pulses with significance. The emotional suspense is intensified by the narrative's pacing, which alternates between quiet, intimate moments and dramatic confrontations, allowing viewers to fully inhabit the internal landscapes of each character. Karen's silence, far from being empty, becomes a presence that shapes the episode, forcing everyone to confront uncomfortable truths about loyalty, grief, and the cost of isolation. By the end of this section, the episode has positioned itself as a crucible for the Sistas, testing the limits of endurance, emotional resilience, and the bonds that tie them together. The combination of personal struggles, moral dilemmas, and interpersonal tension ensures that Episode 5 is not just about individual grief or triumph, but about the intricate and delicate web of sisterhood, where every action reverberates and every choice carries profound consequences. Fans are left on edge, fully aware that the events of this episode will have long-lasting effects, reshaping relationships and forcing the characters and the audience to confront the unpredictable, raw, and sometimes painful truths of human connection. Episode 5 reaches its emotional apex as the consequences of isolation, grief, and hidden truths collide in ways that leave no character untouched. Karen's withdrawal has transformed from a personal coping mechanism into a catalyst for chaos, creating a void that forces each sister to confront not only her pain, but their own limits. The weight of her silence is felt in every corner of the narrative, creating a tension so thick it is almost suffocating. Aaron, already burdened by responsibility and heartbreak, struggles to maintain a semblance of normalcy while grappling with the sharp edges of Karen's absence. Moments that could have been comforting or healing instead become charged with frustration, sorrow, and unspoken resentment. Zach's retreat into grief amplifies the strain, creating a fragile balance that seems poised to collapse under the pressure of conflicting needs and emotions. Every interaction between Aaron and Zach is now a careful negotiation, a tightrope walk between empathy and the temptation to lash out. Fatima's pregnancy, long kept as a secret, becomes the silent drumbeat that drives much of the episode's suspense. The physical and emotional toll of hiding the truth adds an almost unbearable tension to her interactions, and fans will see glimpses of her breaking points, moments when patience frays, composure cracks, and fear threatens to spill into the open. Her eventual revelation, whether prompted by accident or courage, promises to reshape the emotional landscape entirely, juxtaposing the continuation of life against the backdrop of Karen's unresolved grief. Sabrina, in her pursuit of agency and justice, faces critical confrontations that define her journey in episode 5. Her showdown with Rich is not just about betrayal. It's about reclaiming identity, asserting power, and refusing to be diminished by those who have wronged her. But the impact of her decisions is felt across the group, influencing Dany's choices and testing the bonds that hold the sisterhood together. Dany's path towards self-improvement is both challenged and illuminated by the chaos around her. Fans can expect a pivotal moment where she must decide whether to assert her boundaries, cut ties with toxicity, or risk being pulled back into patterns she has fought hard to escape. The interplay between personal growth and relational responsibility drives the episode's suspense, as each decision carries weight and sets the stage for potential breakthroughs or heartbreaks. Layered within these personal struggles are broader social and moral themes that elevate the episode beyond simple relational drama. Dr. Cruz, emblematic of systemic injustice, continues to serve as a looming threat, and Fatima's potential confrontation with him underscores the episode's engagement with issues of accountability, advocacy, and courage. Episode 5 does not shy away from illustrating how personal pain intersects with societal injustice, and it is in these intersections that the suspense and emotional resonance are most profound. The episode's final moments bring the cumulative tension to a near breaking point. Karen's continued refusal to connect, Aaron and Zach's strained attempts at communication, Fatima's concealed truth, Sabrina's confrontations, and Dany's boundary testing all converge in a way that forces the audience to reckon with the fragility of human connection. Emotional flashbacks, tense dialogues, and moments of quiet introspection allow viewers to feel the full weight of every character's struggle. The suspense is relentless, the stakes impossibly high, and yet within the turmoil there is a sense of anticipation, an unspoken question of whether the sisterhood can survive the pressures mounting around it. By the end of episode 5, every character is transformed, forced to confront truths about themselves and each other. The episode masterfully balances heartbreak and revelation, despair and hope, leaving fans breathless, eager, and emotionally invested in what comes next. Relationships are tested, secrets surface, boundaries are redrawn, and the bonds of sisterhood are pushed to their limits. The emotional resonance of episode 5 ensures that its impact will be felt long after the credits roll, cementing it as a turning point in season 9, where grief, betrayal, resilience, and courage intertwine to define the fate of Karen, Sabrina, Fatima, Aaron, Zach, and Dany. Every choice, every confrontation, every unspoken word carries consequence, making episode 5 a masterclass in suspenseful, character driven storytelling that leaves the audience both shattered and captivated.